Ever wonder why your low-maintenance garden still demands so much of your time? Are you tired of feeling like you're doing something wrong when those effortless garden tips don't work for you? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the biggest lie in gardening, revealing what it really takes to have a thriving green space. Imagine a garden that practically takes care of itself. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? Well, today we're going to expose the shocking truth behind that dream. The dirty little secrets the effortless garden gurus conveniently leave out. Prepare to have your perception of gardening completely transformed. The lure of the instant oasis. Social media has created a fantasy world where gardens appear overnight in pristine perfection. Scroll through Instagram or Pinterest and you'll see immaculate raised beds bursting with vegetables, flower borders that look like they've been arranged by professional florists, and lawns so green they practically glow. What you don't see are the countless hours of preparation, the failed attempts, or the photographer waiting for the perfect lighting while carefully angling the camera to hide the weedy corner. This effortless marketing appeals powerfully to our time-starved society. We're bombarded with promises of plant-it-and-forget-it perennials, automatic garden systems, and even 5-minute garden makeovers. Companies selling everything from smart sprinkler systems to so-called miracle soil amendments really capitalize on our desire for instant gratification and minimal effort. Influencers often showcase their gorgeous spaces with captions like, "So easy, anyone can do it." But they conveniently omit the months of soil building, the weekly pest inspections, and those early morning watering sessions that actually created those stunning results. The reality is, these marketing messages prey on beginners' hopes and experienced gardeners' fatigue. They sell the sizzle without mentioning the steak, or in this case the sweat, soil, and systematic care that every thriving garden demands. So let's talk about what happens when the cameras stop rolling and the marketing magic fades away. That gorgeous tomato patch you see, it didn't just materialize out of nowhere. It all started with soil testing, amending clay or sandy soil with compost, installing proper drainage, and selecting varieties that are actually suited to your specific microclimate. The lush perennial border you admire required careful spacing calculations, a good understanding of bloom times, and some strategic planning for 4 seasons of interest. Real gardeners, well, they know the truth about how much time this all really takes. Even a modest vegetable garden demands at least 30 minutes of daily attention during peak season. This includes checking for pests that can decimate your crops overnight, monitoring soil moisture levels that, honestly, automated systems often miss, deadheading flowers to keep them blooming, and harvesting everything at just the right moment for optimal ripeness. Experienced gardeners develop these little rituals around their daily tasks, like that morning coffee walkthrough to spot problems early, or maybe the evening harvest session that feels almost like meditation. And then there are those weekend weeding marathons that, honestly, keep small problems from turning into big disasters. The most successful gardeners aren't the ones with magic thumbs. They're the folks who just show up day after day. They really get that preventing problems is way easier than trying to fix them later. So it's all about regular observation, a bit of proactive care, and jumping in quickly when something goes wrong. This kind of consistency, it really adds up over time. What looks like effortless abundance is actually the result of hundreds of small, deliberate actions, all working together. Here's where the terminology gets dangerously misleading. Low maintenance and no maintenance are worlds apart, yet they're often used interchangeably in garden marketing. A low-maintenance plant might need watering only twice a week instead of daily, but it still needs that water. It might require pruning once a season instead of monthly, but skip that pruning and watch your beautiful shrub turn into an overgrown mess. Even the most foolproof plants need establishment care. That drought-tolerant lavender everyone raves about, it needs consistent watering for its first full growing season while its roots establish. Automatic irrigation systems represent another dangerous myth. Yes, they can deliver water consistently, but they can't adjust for rainfall, recognize when plants are stressed, or account for changing seasonal needs. Similarly, mulching dramatically reduces weeds but doesn't eliminate them entirely. It just makes the weeding that remains more manageable and less frequent. Gardening requires an investment mindset that extends far beyond the initial plant purchases. Time is your most valuable currency in the garden, and like any investment, consistent small contributions yield better results than sporadic large efforts. Spending 15 minutes daily in your garden will create better outcomes than a frantic weekend marathon every month. Quality tools make consistent effort more pleasant and efficient, but they don't eliminate the need for that effort. Perhaps the most challenging aspect of honest gardening is making tough decisions. Sometimes that expensive specimen plant you babied for 2 seasons just isn't thriving in your conditions, and the kindest thing is to remove it and try something else. The real magic happens when we stop fighting against gardening's inherent demands and start embracing them as part of the reward. Those daily garden check-ins, well, they become opportunities for mindfulness and connection with the natural world. And the seasonal rhythms of planting, tending, and harvesting, they really do create structure and anticipation in our lives. The most sustainable approach honestly treats your garden as a long-term relationship rather than just a quick project. Like any meaningful relationship, it requires attention, communication, and mutual respect. In return, it offers beauty, nourishment, sanctuary, and, the deep satisfaction of participating in the ancient dance of growth and renewal. Your thriving garden won't be effortless, but, trust me, it will be worth every moment you invest in it. Each tomato you harvest, every monarch butterfly that visits your flowers, and all those quiet morning moments spent among growing things become evidence of your commitment and care. That's not a burden, it's gardening's greatest gift. So, are you ready to start your own authentic gardening journey? Subscribe to Smart Garden for more honest, practical advice that actually works in real gardens. Share this with fellow gardeners who are ready to embrace the beautiful reality of what it takes to grow something amazing. Together we'll cultivate not just better gardens but a more honest conversation about what it really means to be a gardener.